Today's MetroNews television forecast is brought to you by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun.
We continue to watch unsettled weather as we head into the weekend. Showers and storms moving through. We'll continue to keep an eye on those flooding concerns as we are going to be seeing some locally heavy rain out there with some of these showers and storms that also have the potential to be severe. Now we're under this marginal risk for the afternoon today into tonight, and then again under a marginal risk as we head into the day Saturday as well. So what this means is as we watch these showers and thunderstorms, as you see here, as they continue to work their way across the area, they could provide those damaging winds. Also hail, tornado, not out of the question, and then also some pockets of heavy rain. So of course, watching those flooding concerns, and always remember, turn around, don't drown. Now here's your Fly CRW forecast. It starts at home. Many going to be watching for some unsettled weather as we close out the work week today and then head into the weekend. Going to be watching for some shower and storm chances for many. Now your panhandle forecast as we take a look at the unsettled weather here. We'll see that overnight tonight as temperatures drop down into the 60s. Cameron 64. Cameron heating up to 76 as we head into the day Saturday, watching for those showers and thunderstorms. Kingwood 63 degrees as we head into the overnight hours tonight. Then as we head into the day Saturday, Kingwood heating up to 77 degrees. And for Parkersburg, 66 degrees tonight, heating up to 80 as we head into the day Saturday, watching for those unsettled conditions. In Union, 65 degrees tonight, heating up to 80 degrees as we head into the day Saturday. After Saturday, as we continue to watch for some showers and thunderstorms, our temperatures then soar as we head into next week.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
5, 3, 1.
Red 57, red 57, hot.
I don't believe what I just saw.
Bill McKenzie kicks a 38-yard field goal on the final play of the football game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
It is a great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be.
From the home of the state's land-grant institution, inside the Health Plan Studios, in the Dale B. Miller Building in Morgantown, it's time for the state's most listened-to sports talk show. This is the CityNet Statewide Sportsline. CityNet, cybersecurity experts for the digital age. And now, across the state of West Virginia and beyond, Sportsline is on the air.
And across the state of West Virginia and beyond, we welcome you into a Friday edition of the CityNet Statewide Sportsline, June 26th, 2026. Brad and Greg with you in the Health Plan Studio, and we're glad you're with us. However, you may be listening or watching the show. Coach Hunter, happy Friday. Good evening to you. Welcome in.
Good evening. How are you doing?
Doing great. Got
another week.
End of the week. We're not coasting into the end of the week.
Of course not.
We're going to ask for some participation tonight, too. This is going to be a big audience participation show. They've had a good week texting us. I think we got a couple things we'll throw out there that you'll enjoy tonight. One of the things we're going to talk about, we're going to dive in here in just a second. I feel like if there was a theme to this week, Coach Hunter, it might be the Pat White jersey retirement. That's been a lot of discussion. Every night we've had a little bit on that each night, but there's actual news about it today. It's going to be a whiteout in the stadium. A whiteout, an official whiteout. The last time there was a whiteout on Pat's senior day, it was an impromptu, grassroots type of event. There wasn't really, we'd never done a whiteout. Some fans just kind of raised up, did it themselves, and then the weather cooperated.
Yes, and Mother Nature also participated.
Snow everywhere. I can remember little Blaine Stewart out there before the game, tracing the 5. He was out there with his feet clearing a 5 in the middle of the field. There's a video that WVU put out today, and it shows the 5 in the snowfield. But that was Blaine Stewart that started that part of it. So this is an official whiteout coming on the much discussed September 5th retirement of Pat White's number. So I think first official whiteout in WVU history. Again, the first one was an impromptu, not necessarily an officially sanctioned event. So we're going to get into that. I want to talk about that a little bit more because I know that makes your head explode, but that leads us into more uniform discussion, and we're going to talk about some of that. So we'll do that here in just a second. Also, we went through the quarterback depth chart earlier this week. We're going to do another position tonight, and here's why. Little tease, as we call this in the business. Coming up here soon, there will be a new 3 guys. And the guest for this 3 guys, coming up, it's not like imminent. It's not going to be the next couple of days, but somewhere here, not too distant future, Ben Cutter will be the guest on 3 guys.
Stacking them up, are you? Because you got
stacking them up.
Rest of the summer to fill.
Tough time of year, but we're stacking them up. So Ben Cutter's coming. So it got me thinking, because he was a guy we talked about last night when it comes to the eligibility. Not many of these guys that have a chance maybe for a 5th year. Ben is one of the ones that's on that list. But it got me thinking just about that linebacker position and some of the turnover there's been. He's one of the few returnees. So I want to dive into linebackers tonight. It's a long way to say we're going to talk about linebacker room tonight and kind of go through the depth chart there, get some of your thoughts on what's happening at that position. So we'll do that coming up as well. Text line, and as I said, it's open tonight. You got an open forum here, 304-8255-304. A lot of time tonight for your text, so we'll get into that. I'll give you a couple questions here that we'll throw out, but also any comments that you want to make about football, basketball, baseball, women's basketball. We'll take all that, and we'll dive into your text as we move throughout the program. 304-TALK-304. All right, let's dive into this Pat White announcement. So the first official, I think I'm going to call it that until I'm corrected, first official whiteout in WVU history, got me thinking. Here's my first question. What's the best themed night that West Virginia does? They do a lot of them well, and fans respond to these extremely well. Everybody listening, you guys do a great job. Those of you that come to games, I think the Stripe the Stadium at Milan Puskar Stadium is one of the best nationally, number one. So you got Stripe the Stadium. You got Gold Rush, of course, like the old standby, the OG, the original. You've got Coal Rush.
Yep.
Might have moved into my new favorite recent edition.
Really?
I love the black uniforms and the look at, and those Coal Rush helmets are sweet. I love that. So Coal Rushes. So we got Stripe. We've got Gold Rush. We've got Coal Rush. We've got Whiteout, which I know we haven't really experienced yet. But where does that rate on your list? Oh, that's a good one. True Blue on the list. What's the best one? Or what's your favorite one? However you want to take the question.
Yeah.
Best or favorite, 304-8255-304. Or I'll throw it out because I know we'll get somebody that doesn't like any of them, and that's probably what you would text. Yeah. Don't like any of them. Just give me the traditional uniforms at home and stop screwing around with all these other things. So there'll be some of those too, and if you want to weigh in with that, Hunter probably joins you in that opinion. So we'll take any of those. Best theme that West Virginia Athletics rolls out. What's your favorite one? 304-TALK-304. Here's the other thing I was thinking for our fellow texter that I hope his anger's dissipating as the week moves on. This is another one of the reasons why you do this early in the season, because it's easier to find white, short-sleeved West Virginia apparel than if you push it later in the season and you run into some weather situations. It's hard to find white outerwear. It's not very common. Now, that won't make him any happier, and a text is coming. If you want to do a 3-2-1 countdown, a text is coming. But that's part of also why you have it earlier in the season as well.
I've been told, and you can confirm, that that's also why you usually do the Gold Rush fairly early.
Correct.
Because it's easier to find normal T-shirts and stuff in the gold outerwear when you need coats and stuff. Some people will have them, but not as many of those are in gold.
That has gotten better over the years, right? But you are right. When we started Gold Rush, I was still in the athletic department time. That was part of the discussion. There was hardly any long sleeve or outerwear that was gold, so you wanted to do it early. So that's certainly a thing. So 304-TALK-304 with your opinions on that. Do you have an opinion? You're normally grumpy old man on uniforms. I know you don't share my enthusiasm. I get it. I understand that. So I apologize to you for making a show out of this. Your thoughts on a whiteout?
Like that. I mean, anything to, certainly bring back the not memory, but the days of Pat White and all that. And certainly to hearken back to the whiteout of his final game. I think I think that's a really good idea to coincide with the retirement of his number 5.
So you like that?
I like that.
So if they break out white uniforms, which I assume they will, they've been very good over the years here at matching the uniform to whatever the theme is. You're good with that? Won't make your skin crawl that there's white being worn at Mountaineer Field?
I would think it has to go. One has to go with the other. Right?
They will. Yeah.
Now, I think you have to get special permission. To do white at home. But
we get a couple months out here. You can alert Coastal that they would like to wear white. I think
exactly. Give them an extra $5 for meals or something to bring different colors in. But that's happened before.
We'll talk about this more as it gets closer because I'm with you. It's just it's great, and for so many of us listening, we just had so many great memories of that time period, and Pat in particular, and some of the runs. I mean, we could do a show on that too, and maybe we will later this summer. Just your favorite Pat White play or Pat White memory. I mean, how many of those can you bring up over the years?
Be hard to come down to one.
What do you? I didn't tell you I was going to do this, but off the top of your head, this would be a good one too. If you want to fire this away, 304 Talk 304. Not so much your favorite Pat White play, although we will get to that later in the summer. When you hear Pat White and you think of Pat White's time here, what's the image that comes forth? What do you remember? Like, boom, what just popped in your head when I say Pat White's time at WVU? What's the image that pops into your head of Pat White? Is there an iconic moment, image, something that you think about? What do you think about when you hear Pat White?
Just the memory of 80-yard dashes coming down the field. I mean, I was on the field for every one of his games. I usually station myself in the end zone. I was taking pictures, right? So I want the Mountaineers coming my way. And it goes hand in hand with Steve Slayton.
Sure.
But them just breaking off runs right in your face from 80 yards out. Though I think the biggest moment for me I mean, obviously there are a bazillion of them, but the Gator Bowl against Georgia Tech, when it just became Pat White right, Pat White right, Pat White left, and I don't know how many straight times he carried the ball in the second
312.
half, but I mean, and just willed West Virginia to a win. And he wasn't 235-pound quarterback. He was taking a beating. He couldn't walk off the field. But, they didn't have – Slayton was hurt. They just didn't have anything left. And it's like, okay, let's ride this as long as they can. And that's one of the most iconic performances
it's a good one.
I can remember for any Mountaineer.
He was hard edge before Rich coined the term hard edge. So mine would be a couple of things. And one, this is – I laugh that this is one of mine. But that clip of him and Steve from the Pitt game when both of them were just running all over Pitt, and Pitt had 0% chance of stopping them or West Virginia, and we're just housing them, And ESPN goes to him, and Pat makes that turn and mocks the stupid Panther voice they put up on the growl. Yeah, and he meowed at it as he's just shredding them for 200. Like that to me is way up my list. And then it's just kind of an overall, not a specific moment, but just an overall. I can vividly remember multiple times when it's 3rd and long and he drops back and just takes off, and the runs right through the defense, and I can remember just cackling.
Yeah.
Like being in the stadium just laughing like, haha, you got no chance. 3rd and 9, we don't even have a play called here.
Yeah.
He just took off on you. And you got no chance. That is I think as a fan, that is one of the best feelings in sports when you have a dude like that. And you're right. Steve is right in that category. Noel was in that category. I mean, we've had a bunch of them. Major, right? Back in the day was like that. When it's not even a play call, man.
Yeah.
Like it's not even a called play, and you can't do anything about it because he's just better and faster than everybody you've got. Similar to when you have a fastball pitcher that's dealing and you can't touch his fastball, and you can see the signal. I'll tell you what I'm about to throw, and you can't do anything about it. That's kind of how it felt with Pat when he was quarterback. Like we'll tell you what's coming if you want. Here's the play. You can't stop it.
And as you look back on it now, I mean, obviously you knew how special it was, but you don't appreciate it in the moment nearly as much as you do when it's in your rearview mirror. It's just, okay, this is life now. Let's just go. But when it's over, you realize, gosh, that was really special. And, 20 years later, you've had other great moments and great players at West Virginia, but nothing quite like that.
That's why it's so fun to go back and reminisce, right? It's just a special time, and that's why I'm glad he's getting this honor so we can spend nights like tonight. And this won't be the last time we'll do it. In fact, I'll probably do the same exact thing again down the road as we talk more about Pat White. We'll do it more as we approach September 5th.
So what's your favorite one of those special uniform combo events? I liked Stripe the Stadium a lot.
I'll get some votes, and then I'll make a decision on mine. Okay. So that's I talked so much about Pat, I forgot what the question was tonight. So your favorite West Virginia themed promotion / night. So Stripe the Stadium, Coal Rush, Gold Rush, True Blue, Whiteout. What's your favorite one? If you just had to pick one, your most favorite one, what is it? 304-8255-304. Your texts are already coming in, so great job early. We'll get to those texts coming up. We'll talk a little football here. Let's get into linebackers and what West Virginia has coming into this season at the linebacker position. We'll do that next, but keep those texts coming. 304-TALK-304. We're back after this.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan. We are here for you.
Hey, this is Brad Howe for your local internet provider, CityNet. Fiber is now at your front door and even in rural areas and communities across West Virginia. Thanks to broadband expansion funding, your tax dollars helped make it possible. And CityNet turned that investment into real connections for local families and businesses. Now, you can get blazing fast fiber internet with free installation, free equipment, no long-term contract, and local customer support that's always close to home. Don't settle for slow or no internet for another day. When it's high-speed internet you need, CityNet.net connects, protects, and perfects.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
Download MetroNews Television on your iPhone or Android. Search MetroNews Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Welcome back, CityNet Statewide Sportsline Friday edition. Brad and Greg with you, and we're live in our Health Plan studio. Since 1979, the Health Plan is called West Virginia home. From humble beginnings, they've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming a part of its fabric. For over 4 decades, they've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving West Virginia for over 40 years, the Health Plan. Great job, as usual. Best listeners in the game. We got a bunch of texts coming in here, so we'll have plenty of time here in the back half of the show to dive into your texts, but keep them coming. We've still got room for more. Favorite themed night that West Virginia does? Gold Rush, Stripe, Coal Rush, True Blue, and now add Whiteout to that list, as that's what will be happening on September 5th when Coastal comes to town on the Pat White Jersey Retirement Night. 304-TALK, 304 if you'd like to weigh in on that, and we'll get to those here coming up shortly. All right, let's talk linebackers. And as I was thinking about this earlier, Greg, I feel like linebackers is a lost discussion point, under-discussed. When Rich is the coach, offense gets a ton of the attention. And you know me, I help drive that. I can't talk about offense enough. Defensively, I feel like we're either going to the guys rushing the passer up front or the back end. And I feel like that linebacker group is kind of not discussed maybe as much as it should. So tonight, the linebacking crew gets its due. Yeah. We're going to spend some time. Let's dive in. Ben Cutter's the name we know.
Yes.
Right?
There are not many that you're going to know because, and again, I'm going to include 4 positions. One of them is really a safety, the nickel safety, but it's a hybrid outside linebacker, but it's really a safety. But include those in this as well. And then the edge, which is the old rush linebacker spot. Okay. So, again, slightly different variances. But between those 4 positions, then also the Will and the Mike, the 2 traditional linebackers, you've got 18 players currently on the 2 deep. A couple new ones are coming in this summer, but let's just go for the 18 that were here in the spring. Only 3 of them were on the roster in December. 15 others joined the program in January. So, yeah, I mean, Ben Cutter's a familiar name because he's one of the few. Ashton Woods also played last year, but only played part of the year because he had a shoulder injury. And then Cam Torbor was a true freshman last year, playing a couple games. Can you even say he redshirted last year? But you know what I'm saying. Yeah. But we only played in a couple games. Those are the only 3 guys that were on the team last year. So Ben's the only one who's really played. And of course, he's got 3 seasons under his belt, has played in every game in each of the 3 seasons.
38 of them. Yep. And closing in on, if I've done my math right around 1,500 snaps. So it's funny. You have not much experience, but one of your guys that's experienced is super experienced, been starting since he was a baby.
And again, he's going to be one of those guys who's going to get not only be able to play this year, but will have the option to play in 27 as well. So start with Ben. Again, incredibly experienced, rock solid player, rock solid human being. Just has stayed at West Virginia. I mean, start there.
Start there is right.
Yeah, in his class, the class above him, Landon Livingston and McGuire Moss, who came in as a walk-on, long snapper, are the only 2 left from the class of, so that'd be 2022. Then Ben came in the next class. That's Nick Cray, Corey McIntyre, and Ben. Only the 3 remain from that class. So that tells you all the turnover. But Ben's, remains solid at West Virginia, North Carolina kid, and very much a major ingredient of what this defense is going to be this coming year. Hasn't always been a starter at West Virginia, but always has been, a major special teams player, heavy in the rotation at linebacker. And I think, is going to be counted on in that role again this year. Ashton Woods is a guy they really like to transfer, came in, this last spring, the spring of 25 from North Carolina as a transfer. Nice player, unfortunately got hurt midway through the season. Didn't play in the spring because he was rehabbing from that injury, so we'll see where he is health-wise. But if he's healthy, that's a nice player. And then the other traditional linebacker spots, a bunch of transfers that are going to have to be major players for West Virginia. Tyler Stolsky's a kid who's coming up from Florida Atlantic, started his career at Minnesota, played a couple years there, went to Florida Atlantic, transferred there, and really was productive in that program last year. Now is trying to bounce back to a Power 4 program. Really he looks like a very solid, serviceable linebacker. Will push for a starting job. Will be very much part of the rotation. He and Ben Cutter sort of the classic, and Ashton Wood sort of the classic middle linebacker types. Maybe not guys that you're going to ask to run sideline to sideline, but can play, C-gap to C-gap type players. And then three other transfers that are going to factor in more at the will linebacker position. Macaulay Hood coming from Illinois. He's a senior, fifth-year senior. Played a lot at Illinois, but looking for a new home. Comes to West Virginia. Has a real opportunity to start there. Isaiah Patterson has been in a couple of different spots. UCLA last year at UNLV. He's a player that has all the physical tools and looks like he's got an opportunity. And then there's a transfer from Villanova who played a lot on a really good FCS program in Jason Hall. So those are three transfers that are figure very much for West Virginia. Cam Torbor, as I said, his dad played in the NFL. He was a guy who played mainly basketball in high school, but late in his high school career, the football coach finally talked him into coming out. Wasn't much of a factor as a junior, his first year playing football. Second year, first team All-State in Alabama at their largest class.
Yeah, pretty good.
And got a ton of offers at that point in time. So he's a guy that seemingly has a big upside to him. So we'll see where he goes. And then two players that are true freshmen that came in January, Cameron Dwyer and Antoine Sharp. So those are younger players in this group. And like I said, there are a couple others coming in. But then, your edge rushers are all new. And it's going to, that obviously an incredibly important factor for West Virginia into finding pass rushers. And that's going to be your primary pass rusher. Last year, West Virginia tried out some people there and never really got the total production you would like to have gotten. So you'd like to have Toby Hostrom, the transfer from Oregon, was a highly, highly thought of recruit coming out of high school in Texas. Didn't play much at Oregon as a true freshman last year. You hope he can live up to what they believe he can be. He's got the size. Track kid at 6'5", 240 pounds.
Physical specimen.
Yeah, exactly. One of those first guy off the bus types. And then runs like crazy. So he's got physical tools, but he hasn't played a whole lot of football in his career. Only played 2 years of high school football. So he's still sort of learning things. On the other end of that is Harper Holman, transfer from Western Kentucky. Played a lot of college football. Got a couple years left, but he's a player that really they liked in the spring. So those are sort of the two at the top, but they're not the only ones. Jeremiah Johnson's a junior college kid coming out of Nevada that really sort of not a high-level recruit, but came in and had a nice spring as well. And then David Afogo is a transfer from Bowling Green, who also had a good spring. So you got four guys that showed some things in the spring, but now we'll have to see what they ultimately can do come the season. But that's an incredibly important position.
That's a really good of all those positions. That's a good mix of experience and some potential upside there with some physical tools that you'd like to get. That's all the way around. Maybe not experience here as you just outlined. Really, Ben's the only one there.
Yeah.
But you've got some guys at some different stages of the career, which is good.
Yeah, and again, sort of like the entire incoming class that Rich brought in, especially the transfer side of things, there are a lot of guys that have multiple years left in terms of eligibility. Last year, it was so senior dominant because you had to get guys that could do what you could do, and even in the end, you weren't ultimately that good.
Such a late start.
Yeah,
right,
exactly. But this group, and as you look at this, Stolsky and Hood are the only two, now that Cutter's got the extra year, Stolsky and Hood are the only two out of this entire group that have no more eligibility after 2026. So again, we know that doesn't mean everyone is ultimately staying, but it does give you maybe some continuity that next year you're not going to look up at this group and you go, well, there are only three players who were even on the squad. in 2020.
Yeah, that's right.
The year before.
I mean, he may not flip it to 15 returners at the position, but if it's more than 3, you probably feel pretty good, and really just one that played significant snaps for you there, so you might be further ahead. I agree with that.
So you're pretty good.
Nickel?
Again, this is more of a safety position, and truthfully, the top 2 guys at nickel both have played a lot of cornerback and previously in their prior stops, but guys that are going to be huge factors for West Virginia. You may ultimately see them move around a little bit because they could be your best 2 defensive backs ultimately. But Jameer Latimer, Mari Latimer's brother, Jameer started at Jacksonville State his career, played corner mainly there, moved to Wisconsin last year, started a number of games for the Badgers, but it's pretty obvious when you talk to him, wasn't real happy with how things went there. Reunited with Rich and Zach Alley because he played under Alley for a while at Jacksonville State. He's at the nickel. Again, this is a position a little bit outside linebacker. You're covering tight ends a lot, but you also have to have pass coverage skills, so it's a combination of everything. So Latimer's there, and also a guy that named Andrew Podrell. Started his career at Montana State, FCS program that played in a national championship game. Moved on last year to UNLV, started at UNLV, now wants to continue to move up the ladder a little bit to a Power 4 program, now at West Virginia, and they just talked about,
glowingly about him. Yeah, and you may have seen him if you're active on social media. You've seen it over the last day or so, his hang clean record that he set for a defensive back. So size, strength, and speed for Powdrell.
Yeah, you look at him and you think, well, he's not really that big, but obviously really strong with what he did in that hang clean record. Runs really well. Played corner mainly in the past, but again, West Virginia with he and Latimer, that nickel is a playmaking position in Alley's defense. So they're looking for guys that will help them a great deal there. Though, again, if they're your 2 best, you may find ways to get them both on the field at the same time.
Because you're hearing a lot about both of those guys, right?
And, it's not that big of a change to move to a traditional safety or even a corner because both of them have experience there. Malik Hawkins, Michael Hawkins' brother, transferred in from Oklahoma. Now, again, we talk so much about Michael, but Malik while he didn't play much last year for the Sooners as a true freshman, he's a guy that was a highly thought-of recruit coming out of high school in Texas as well. So he's a guy to certainly keep an eye on as you move forward. And then there are 2 true freshmen at that position, both of whom were linebackers in high school and making more of a position change because not necessarily big linebackers, but athletic guys in Miles Katari from Alabama and Emery Snyder from Oklahoma. Snyder was hurt throughout most of the spring, didn't play much in practice, but both those guys they think have nice futures, but obviously there's a stack of players in front of them at that position. But again, that position, you can be versatile enough to ultimately play elsewhere.
That was a good breakdown there. You need a drink of water or anything? You went through that was heavy football breakdown there. That's a lot. And listening to that, so again, the theme being not a lot of names from past years, but there's a lot of potential there. And we'll have to see how what they hit. How often do we talk about this? What's your hit rate? How many of those guys ultimately end up living up to what they did either at a lower level or someplace else or live up to the potential they had coming out of high school? But that sounds like a bunch of options. That feels like a lot more potential options than what you've gone to battle with certainly last year.
Yeah, no, and again, we've seen in the past. Now, again, Zach Alley wasn't the defensive coordinator in Rich's first stint at West Virginia, but it's still when Rich's defenses have had good linebackers, and obviously Grant Wiley being sort of the head of the whole thing, they've had really good defense, and that was just a compliment to the offensive firepower that he was able to put on the field. So, again, we get so caught up in what's happening on the offensive side, and it does look like West Virginia has improved their talent level offensively, but I think what will ultimately make or break this team is if this defense can show improvement as well, because it was, it was hit or miss last year. There were some times last year it was solid, but by the end of the year it was starting to wear down and it was getting beat up pretty good.
That's right. Totally agree with that assessment as well. All right, great breakdown. Thank you for that. That's good. We may revisit that later on in the year just to keep as a refresher for all of these new names and faces coming in, but that provides some optimism based on resumes of these guys. All right, break to take. When we come back, it's your turn. Let's dive into some of these texts. Favorite theme night. We got a bunch of them already. Certainly welcome to send more in. 304-8255-304 if you'd like to weigh in on that. Or open forum here if you have other questions or comments about football, basketball, baseball, women's basketball. We'll take that as well and get into those when the CityNet statewide Sportsline rolls on.
Feeling under the weather but don't want to leave home? With WVU Medicine Virtual Urgent Care, you can connect with a provider in minutes, right from your phone, tablet, or computer. From cold and flu symptoms to minor injuries and more. Expert care is just a click away. No waiting room, no commute. Available when you need it most, including evenings and weekends. Skip the trip and feel better faster. Visit WVUmedicine.org/virtualuc.
Answering a text or phone call while driving. Seems pretty harmless, right? But in the 5 seconds you took your eyes off the road to respond, you missed the girl riding her bike across the street. You missed the dog who darted into the road. And you missed the stop sign. And while it was just a ticket this time, it could have been worse. In fact, more than 700 people are injured in distracted driving crashes each day. Keep yourself and others safe. Don't drive distracted. Just drive. This message was brought to you by the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline
Returns in 2 minutes.
on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun.
We continue to watch unsettled weather as we head into the weekend. Showers and storms moving through. We'll continue to keep an eye on those flooding concerns as we are going to be seeing some locally heavy rain out there with some of these showers and storms that also have the potential to be severe. Now we're under this marginal risk for the afternoon today into tonight, and then again under a marginal risk as we head into the day Saturday as well. So what this means is as we watch these showers and thunderstorms, as you see here, as they continue to work their way across the area, they could provide those damaging winds. Also hail, tornado, not out of the question, and then also some pockets of heavy rain. So of course, watching those flooding concerns, and always remember, turn around, don't drown. Now here's your Fly CRW forecast. It starts at home. Many going to be watching for some unsettled weather as we close out the work week today and then head into the weekend. Going to be watching for some shower and storm chances for many. Now your panhandle to panhandle forecast as we take a look at the unsettled weather here. We'll see that overnight tonight as temperatures drop down into the 60s. Cameron 64. Cameron heating up to 76 as we head into the day Saturday, watching for those showers and thunderstorms. Kingwood 63 degrees as we head into the overnight hours tonight. Then as we head into the day Saturday, Kingwood heating up to 77 degrees. And for Parkersburg, 66 degrees tonight, heating up to 80 as we head into the day Saturday, watching for those unsettled conditions. In Union, 65 degrees tonight, heating up to 80 degrees as we head into the day Saturday. After Saturday, as we continue to watch for some showers and thunderstorms, our temperatures then soar as we head into next week.
High-speed internet is probably at your front door, and now's the time to connect. More rural communities in West Virginia can finally get the high-speed internet they deserve. With free equipment, free installation, no contract, and local support you can trust. Whether you're streaming, working, gaming, or running your business, CityNet delivers the speed and reliability you need. Remember, CityNet connects, protects, and perfects. All right, let's get into the text line here a little bit. We got a bunch of them, Coach Hunter. Still room for more. Still room for more, but we got a bunch. All right, here's one on our discussion we just talked about. Texter says, Torbor is a guy that intrigues me at linebacker. Big dude, 6'3", 240.
runs well. I agree. Again, I think the thing with him, and I agree with him, he seemingly has a bright future, but just hasn't played much football and needs to learn that quickly. And Zach Alley's defense isn't the easiest one to just jump out there and go play, especially at linebacker. So, but I do think that eventually he's got the skills to be really, really good at seemingly.
Texter, guys, I don't think we need special nights for our fans to show up in true colors and don't need to be told what to wear my favorite uniform. Or don't need to be told what to wear. My favorite uniform combination is the one we win in, with the exception of the baby poop yellow. Hope we never wear that again. I assume you mean last year's throwback with the traditional old golden seed. I mean, you know me. I'm as on board with different uniforms as you can possibly. I'm at the total opposite end of the spectrum of this texture. So I respect your opinion, disagree with it vehemently, but I understand what you're saying. I liked last year's.
I'd go with two
I'll say
uniforms.
this. I would not.
Home and away.
I know you would. You can go one if you could.
Yeah.
I am not. I would choose the brighter, newer gold than I would the traditional old gold. I am not necessarily an old gold fan, just in general, just as a general color scheme on anybody's. I did like it for a one-off because it was weird and different.
You always
I like weird and different.
It didn't do. I will say, basketball-wise, the Jerry West version of
the royal blue.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Any other throwbacks, typically I don't. That's the only throwback that I've enjoyed.
Royal blue skull. All right, so we're off to a rousing start with with negativity out of the uniforms first. Thank you for your text. Let me get
music and uniforms. Anything that's always going to bring about a whole.
It will. Well, you know me. I'm not touching music. I had to touch that for 15 years. I'm not touching it. But uniforms, I'll dive into you with. All right, texter. As far as the special events for football, stripe the stadium would be my favorite, says the texter, and also as far as how it looks in the stadium. Coal Rush uniforms would be my favorite uniform, though. I think the whiteout will be amazing, and I fully support it. But I would not want to see it on a regular basis because it makes me think of Penn State too much.
Good point.
Good point.
But yeah, one off, absolutely.
And there's a specific reason, right? I mean, yep, so I agree. Those Coal Rush uniforms are so sweet. You okay with the black uniforms?
Yeah.
All right. I know you're coming into this part of the show kicking and screaming. I get it. So I appreciate you playing along and indulging me and the listeners that like this. So thank you.
I'll go along with it in June.
Thank you. Texter, stripe the stadium for sure is this texter's favorite. Says Gold Rush is a strong second. Both come out and look awesome on TV. Texter, stripe the stadium. Best look in all of college football. I do think that, not just being a homer, I think West Virginia does that as well as anybody nationally. Colors lend itself to that very well, too, I think. Texter, might have a runaway here. Favorite is stripe the stadium and the uniforms that go with it. My favorite Pat White memory, says the texter, is him coming in to lead one of the greatest comebacks in West Virginia history against Louisville, of course. It was so bad, my wife had to go outside because she couldn't watch it. She stayed outside because she didn't want to change the karma. Well, kudos to your wife.
Yeah, appreciate her.
For recognizing and being with all of us other nutcases that are superstitious like that. She abided by the code and stayed out in order to help the team. I appreciate that. Very well done. Texter. Favorite theme is Gold Rush with a slight variation. I like the Gold Rush with the blue helmets. Nothing quite like it. Gary from Vienna. Gary, I agree with you. And some of it may just be PTSD from the all gold look on the night we won't discuss. But I'm with him. I think if you go gold top, gold pants, and wear the blue helmet, I'm in with that look.
You're okay with
that?
that?
I like that. Yeah, I do. I like that. I know it makes you crazy, but if you're going to Gold Rush the thing, be the Gold Rush. Texter. Noel says, I stole his thunder with the what pops in your head when you say Pat White. He said, making fun of the growl they were playing at the Pitt Stadium when he was on camera as we were beating the pants off him.
That is something that
I agree. That does stand out.
You can still see and hear today.
I go back and watch it occasionally.
I don't think I have.
I go back and watch a couple of things. I'll watch that and just giggle the way he did that. And then I'll go back and watch the Big East introductions from the championship game at the Garden. I go back and watch that a lot as well. All right, let's get a break in. We got a bunch more texts, so I want to get to all these. Let's get our final break in, then we'll run the rest of the show, getting back to your texts. Keep them coming. Still have time to get a few more in. 304-8255-304. We'll do it next. Continue with those as the CityNet statewide sports line continues.
This boating season, elevate your family time with Lou Wendell Marine Sales. Proudly family-owned for over 40 years, Lou and his sons are West Virginia's largest Avalon pontoon dealer. Trusted experts in premium boats, motors, and service. Discover refined comfort, elegant design, and performance you can feel. Now is the perfect time to take advantage of preseason savings. At Lou Wendell Marine Sales, they don't just sell boats. They sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com because the weekend's almost here.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan. We are here for you.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide sports line returns in 2 minutes on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
You know CityNet is West Virginia's leading technology company. Whether we're managing IT infrastructures, protecting the critical data and networks of our region's businesses, or providing fiber broadband, TV, and phone services, we are your go-to experts. We're also a strong partner in the communities in which we serve. CityNet, your trusted technology partner. Learn more about us, visit citynet.net.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
The Health Plan proudly supports our active and healthy communities and has been your most trusted carrier for over 40 years. Log on to healthplan.org for more information.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
All right, we're back for the final few minutes of the week on the CityNet statewide sports line. We've got a bunch of texts to get to, so let's keep rolling on this, Coach Hunter. Texter, best memory of Pat White. Texter says, riding the elevator after the Sugar Bowl win. Heath. So Heath was in the elevator with Pat White. That's a good one. That's a good time to do it after that Sugar Bowl win.
Yeah.
Oh, a good one.
What was the hotel in Atlanta?
I don't know if I remember. I don't know that.
I envision it. I was there.
I can see it.
Stayed at the team hotel.
I can see the
year.
elevator. It's a nice hotel. Texter. I think if Bednarik doesn't get hurt, Pat White leaves WVU to go play baseball the very next day, and there is no Pat White retirement. It is funny how things work, right? I mean, because they were splitting time. Yeah. They were splitting time. Adam gets hurt. Pat comes in, and for those of you of a certain age, Wally pips him and says, I'll take the ball. I'll take it from here, and we're about to go on a run.
Though I still, that talent was going to come through.
It was. I agree with that. Britt from Princeton checking in says, love all the options with the stadium fan variations, but break the tradition on 9/5/26 with the customary home jerseys to honor one of the best game changers at WVU. I don't know. They saying they don't like breaking the tradition? Is that what Britt's saying?
They normally don't like breaking the tradition, but this one.
But okay with this.
They're fine with this.
Okay.
That's how I interpret.
Texter, favorite Pat White moment. Pat White growl versus Pitt. I wonder when we do that later in the year. I wonder where that one's going to run. That is a great one.
You're going to have to call that up on YouTube
because he was kind of a, they say had a buddy that played in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Said Larry Bird was by far the biggest trash talker in the league, but you never really knew it because he was so stealth about it. I think Pat was the same way. Pat wasn't afraid to yip a little bit on the floor, but he's such a quiet guy by nature.
So quiet, you don't even realize that.
So that was like an all-time great taunt because it wasn't over the top, loud, banging your chest. It was just a meow as he's just torching him. That was the other part. Like it wasn't like he was absolutely having one of those historic days. So was Steve, and they were both sitting there. And Steve didn't even react to him. Like he's sitting right next to him, and that's the other funny part. Steve kind of looks at him doing it, and just like they kind of turn back, did it, taunt. We're back. Get our helmets on. We'll go back, and each of us run for another touchdown on you. Texter. Stripe the Stadium is the favorite. Cole Rush a close second. I think that's how we're running, right? I know you're not doing your tally, but
I would agree. Certainly.
Stripe the Stadium's a hard one to knock off. I agree. It's just so good. When was the last time we had a standout at linebacker? Says the texter.
Good question. I mean, they've had solid ones. I mean, even last year, Reed Carrico was a solid linebacker, but guys that were
like a first-team all-conference dude.
And it's unfortunate you've had so much turnover. I think Josiah Trotter and Trey Lathan, if you'd have kept that duo intact for a while.
Agree.
They had the talent to be there. But
that same texter says he's all in on all the uniforms. He's on my side, except gray. Doesn't like the gray.
You like the gray?
You know what? I actually don't love the gray.
Oh, there's one you don't like.
But I like gray, and I don't mind gray being mixed into the palette. For some reason, that particular shade isn't my favorite. I like a little darker, like trending almost into the family of the black color wheel. Like get as closer to that as you can. Just personal preference, not maybe just in general. I've got a like grayish shirt tonight, Coach Hunter. So I'm a big gray fan overall. I know you can't tell.
I can't tell.
Yeah, it's got like little pink dots on there too.
Okay.
Looks just gray on TV, but. Not that you care what I'm wearing. Texter Duggan Winfield weighing in says, is that right? Do I have that wrong? He says on December 1st, 27 was the shiny blue helmets with gold jersey, gold pants. I thought it was all gold that night. Am I misremembering that? Did they do the blue helmets? Doug says,
I'm so traumatized. I haven't.
Maybe I blocked it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Doug. If I was wrong, I stand corrected. He says, is it safe to assume that last year's throwbacks with the baby blue logo won't be back since some of those unis were available during the equipment sale? Yeah, I think that's right. I don't think that you will see that combination again. I do think that was a one-off, although that logo continues. The logo that was on the side of the helmet with the Star City blue. Doug, let's refer to it as what it's named in the color guide, Star City blue, after the old Star City Bridge, Coach Hunter, as many of you remember, right?
Yeah.
The light blue. That's a popular logo. There's many within the department on different teams even that really like that logo. But I think you're right. I think that uniform was a one and done.
So calling up a little of the Googles, gold pants, gold shirts, blue helmet.
Okay, Doug, thank you.
07.
Okay. That hurts because I like that. I'm okay with that combination for Gold Rush. Got to bring it back out. Texter, did you send this? Did you send this text over to me?
I have not sent you one yet.
Texter says, I cannot find enough words to describe how much I despise the all-white uniform. You know, interestingly, that's my least favorite. I do not like all-white uniform either, but I will on that particular day. But that's way down my list, Texter. I'm with you on that. I don't love that.
Let me ask you one that's more relevant to the recent period. Baseball's it's not even white. I'm told it's cream.
Yeah.
And that's a throwback.
Oh, way in.
I like that.
Way in because
maybe it's a baseball thing.
I love the throwback uniform.
Mm-hmm.
I actually like the cream in that situation, but it also has a very Field of Dreams look to it. So I'm way in on that thing. Love it.
But other than that, I would agree. Normally, all white wouldn't do much for me.
I don't like all white.
I don't care much about any of them. So
Texter says, It's a good way to end the week. Texter says, now if there's snow at the much maligned Coastal Carolina game, that will be a story.
That would be a story.
Much maligned Coastal Carolina was good. I chortled on that. Texter says, I like the gold. I'll take that over the canary yellow that we normally refer to as gold. I see what you're saying. So he's okay. He likes the old gold rather than the new gold.
I think they called it mustard gold back in the day.
Texter. Texter. This is the wife that had to go outside. That just commented. She said, I did have a radio and headphones, so I was listening to the game as I picked up walnuts in my yard. I did break down and go back in and watch overtimes. Very good. That's awesome. Appreciate her weighing in. That's a solid effort, Coach Hunter. Texter. Ed from Preston County, Louisville game. This is a good one. Got some good texters tonight. Says, I was one of the 125,000 people who stayed. That's right. Texter, have a stripe the stadium with white and black and get ESPN to broadcast it in black and white as a retro night. We're getting really into it. Texter, great analysis by Coach Hunter. Now that's the coach I've come to know and love since 1989 when I first subscribed to the Blue and Gold News.
Well, thank you.
Amen, brother. That was a fun segment. We need to do more of that. I'm with you, Texter.
We will. We got plenty of summer. Well, actually, it's going fast.
It's going fast. That was great, though. Good job, Coach Hunter. I agree with the Texter. All right, thanks, everybody. You killed it again. Gave us some laughs, had some great comments, and thanks for the participation. That'll do it. Coach Hunter and Joe Bricado on Sunday. We're back on Monday. Enjoy your weekend. See you.
From the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline is an exclusive production of the MetroNews Radio Network. All rights reserved.